Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome back. Excuse me. To Fed Thoughts. How you doing, Zay? He's Zay. I'm Jay. Let's get straight to it, Zay. I was watching YouTube and I saw the trailer for Little Mermaid, and then for the live action, and then I saw another YouTube video of people saying things and her getting backlash because of the character or the person that will be playing Ariel, which happens to be Chloe Bailey, right? That's her name. Who's a black girl, and she'll be playing Ariel. And the comments are like, "Oh, the mermaid was white originally. Why are you guys gonna cast a black girl, et cetera, et cetera?" And I want to get your opinion on that in general, right? Not just that movie. How do you feel when directors or producers or...
It's been happening for how many years in the reverse? How many years has it been happening in the reverse?
What do you mean in the reverse?
Oh, well, where do I start? Everybody's favorite movie, gangster movie, drug lord movie. Al Pacino as who? Scarface. At the time, whatever. You look at the movie now, and his accent is terrible. What else? West Side Story. Maria. It was not Spanish.
That is very true.
How many times have Caucasians played other ethnicities? They've done Chinese. They've done this.
I feel like that's fine.
All right, so why is it what? For what's fine?
All right, so let's say I write a script and the person's supposed to be whatever, Chinese, Spanish, black, whatever, and I get an actor who may not be black but is dark skinned. They could take on that role. Even if they're not black, but they're dark skinned. I feel like that shouldn't be an issue. And even the whole Ariel thing, that a black person's gonna play a character who's originally white. I don't care about that either. What the thing that I wouldn't even say that I don't like, but it's just I find it interesting, is how hard now that they go to conform to everything. I'm pretty sure the whole decision to having a black mermaid wasn't oh, let's be different, or I really like her as an actress, I want her to play Little Mermaid. It's all, because of the whole cancel culture, and they want to add representation or whatever. If the character originally wasn't black for any movie, I feel like they should stick to the script, right? There was this other... They did it with the whole Ghostbusters. It wasn't necessarily a race, but they put females. If the script is originally written for men to play, why add?
But did you see the movie?
Script? No.
I thought it was hilarious.
And it's those same actors, those same female actors could have played a different movie with a similar concept.
But why? To
create new characters. Why keep making...
Well, they do that. Hollywood has done that since the beginning in film. Reusing the same script or story, and filming it over and over.
That's fine. Reboots.
How many times have they done, Mary Poppins?
Yeah, but
how many
did
times
they do a black Mary Poppins?
And I think they should. And I think it would be dope.
No, just do a different completely film that's similar to...
It's a classic.
Yeah, but the original classic, it's a white woman. So
what?
It was written for a white woman.
But once again, if you look at the history, how many black people were allowed to be in Hollywood? How many?
You're right.
Why do you think you had Caucasians in blackface?
You're
they didn't want to allow
right.
black people in on the stage or in movies.
But let's make new characters. Why do we have to this character was right. Let's do something different. Make her black this time.
Why not?
Like, no, just make
why not?
Make a completely different.
But why
film.
not? Why not?
Because
but why not? See, that's the thing though. Give me a why.
I'm telling you why. If I write something that's specifically for a white person, I don't want a black person playing it because I wrote it for a white person or for that person, that character to be.
Do you know how many
white.
scripts have gone to television that were actually written for black families, and they turned it into a white family?
That's
it's happened a lot.
That's fine.
So then, all right. So then,
but it's already established, right? Little Mermaid's white with red hair. Like everyone knows, all the little kids know that that's the Little Mermaid. Why change that? Just make another. I'm not saying black people can't be mermaids. Just make a completely different film where that black girl is a completely different mermaid and she could build the same popularity that Ariel did. Why do we have to make the black girl now Ariel? You get what I'm saying?
No, no, I'm not.
Chris, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Because I'm saying, why not?
For that
Just
reason.
because the initial script was written right with a white person doesn't mean that you can't switch it up.
I'm not saying that you can't, but it's the reasons behind it. So like
there is no reasons behind it that you know of. You're assuming.
You see it in other movies now. I watch a lot of movies, and it's a character that was usually this type. All of a sudden, they're changed because of all the things that are going on, right? If let's say none of these things were going on, and people did those things, then I'll be like, okay, cool, like something different. But you know why it's happening, and I feel like it's just bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I think what you're doing though is you're taking away from the fact that she could be a great Ariel. I'm not
saying that she can't.
No, yeah, you are, because you just finished saying that it's not because she plays the character better. It's because maybe she could.
Maybe she can.
All right then. So then what is you? See, my thing is if she's able to carry the role, why can't she audition and get the part?
Because the character.
Because my understanding is the best person should get the part, regardless of the color.
That's what you think. So
yes.
let's say I write a script where a person is short. Am I gonna get a tall actor to play that person who's supposed to be short?
No, but it's happened.
Of course, but does that make sense? No, you're gonna look for short actors.
It's happened, and they rewrite the script. That's the thing, though.
But that's okay. Rewriting the script that hasn't been an actual movie or whatever show, play. But once it's already made, it's like, why are you changing it? When you could make a whole completely new version where she shines as this new character. Now it becomes this whole Ariel is white or Ariel is black. Like Ariel came out, she was white. That's it. Leave it alone. Make a new mermaid. Or do we only need to have Ariel as the only mermaid?
Well, it won't work. Because if you try and create another movie with another mermaid, it's not going to work.
Why not? Why not?
Because
you can't say
Ariel, the Little Mermaid story is now a cult classic.
Yeah, but you really telling me that we're not creating enough to make a new story where a black mermaid with a whole new story and actually.
So tell me, how many movies are coming out of Hollywood, these big budget films, outside of Netflix and all these other streaming platforms where they have a lot of movies, right? Big budget movie that's coming out of one of these big studios that is actually made for black actresses and actors. In comparison to all the movies that are being made for Caucasians.
Yeah, but they don't give it a chance because they're too busy rebooting. Like, this
They
character
reboot
wasn't
everything.
originally a
Everything
guy.
gets rebooted.
Let's make
Everything
him a
gets
woman.
rebooted.
This person was straight. Let's make him gay. Like,
But that's what they do. So then, if they can do that, why can't they make
No, but
Little
that's my
Mermaid with a black actress?
all that is unnecessary to me.
Who said it's an unnecessary? How are things unnecessary to you?
Because they're doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it because people are making noise. People are going saying there's not enough representation, so they're doing it for representation. They're not doing it because of what you say that the actor is good.
How do you know that she's not good?
I'm not saying that she's not good. I'm saying
Preach. Can you?
I'm not blaming.
Getting a little
I'm not-
action vibe over here.
I'm not mad at the actress. I'm not mad at the black. I'm mad at the producers or the directors that make these decisions based on that. I'm not saying that she's not a good actor. She won't play the role well. But it's like, why couldn't the directors or producers or whoever make a script for her that isn't Ariel? Why? Or can
she make an alternative Little Mermaid?
not an alternative Little Mermaid?
That's even worse.
It could
That's what I'm saying. Like make a black mermaid.
not a black mermaid, but something different, a totally new character, just a different character. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a mermaid. But
See, but the Princess and the Frog was redone because the Princess and the Frog is originally it's a story with a white princess and the frog is a white prince. Am I not wrong?
Yeah.
And that movie, when it was redone, became a huge hit.
Wait, are you saying? Because I gotta ask. Are you so? Because like I said,
maybe I'm not getting my point.
No.
across.
I understand what you're saying, but you're saying they basically put her in there more to appease
Yes,
a demographic
that's what
as
I'm
opposed
saying.
to
She's a great actress. I think she would do very well in this role. That's what I think that they're doing with
But
all
I think,
films.
but I think the success.
yeah.
But I think the success of the Princess and the Frog has moved that along. It's helped them to think, well, why can't we recast the role for?
That's not what I think. He's not disagreeing with you, but he's basically saying like he feels like Disney is doing in that because he knows so for instance, there's a certain audience, white audience, that's gonna watch the story of the Little Mermaid regardless. So they're not worried about that demographic. Because probably like the majority, like if you have kids, they're gonna watch The Little Mermaid, and there's a faction of white people who are not gonna care. Okay, they'll watch it regardless. But when people of color, they're appeasing that demographic because it's like, hey, we're putting a person of color, so we're definitely gonna get that demographic to definitely watch that movie now. So I don't know if that's what the producer's decision really was, or that's the motive.
That's the thing.
He's assuming that's what they're doing. I don't know if he's right or wrong though. Neither do you. I don't know.
No,
we don't know that
because this is not the first movie that Disney has done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is not the first movie that they've done that in. Would lead me to believe that it's.
So you think where they're giving us like a gift or something? Like you think you kind of feel like it's like.
I just feel like the intentions behind it.
Isn't all natural.
People are making noise.
But this is not the only. This is not the only movie.
But that's what I'm saying.
But I agree with him. It's been in reverse for many years, where 10 Commandments, Charlton Heston does not represent an Egyptian person. You know what I'm saying? Like Cleopatra. Liz Taylor does not represent an Arabic person. Like they've been doing that for years. So The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, what the fuck? Like I don't know this. I think there's been many examples where they.
Well, the Last Samurai, he wasn't supposed to be.
Oh, okay, so that's my mistake. That's my fault.
You've never seen that movie?
No.
Excellent movie.
Really?
Very good.
Okay, good. So that's my mistake. But there's been countless other examples of when they've done that, and it's like, yo,
What the fuck? Tropic Thunder? Nah, I'm just
No, that was funny. But you do bring up a good point.
I feel like it's just different when something is already established. Because like, let's say those movies, The Last Samurai. Let's say an actual Asian played the samurai role, right? And then later on, they try to do it, and it's like a white person playing it. It's like it's kind of odd. But if from the jump start, you put a white person who's supposed to be an Asian and they do well, I feel like that's fine because no one ever got a glimpse of how it was supposed to be.
Does it matter if it's a fictional character as opposed to a non-fictional character?
I don't think it matters. If the character is not already established as she has these traits or has this trait, then it's up for grabs. Anybody could play it, right? If Ariel,
I disagree.
If they never came out with a Little Mermaid movie, and originally, right, the scripts, she was supposed to be white, but it just happened that they made her black. It's totally fine.
But you're saying they only using a black Little Mermaid for marketing.
Exactly.
And distribution
the same
purposes.
way they'll use a gay person to play something like, if the character is usually straight, they'll put the gay guy.
They'll make him. I haven't seen an example of that
represent.
though. I don't know if I've seen an example.
Like I forgot what cartoons now. Like they implement now gay couples.
Right. I mean, because gay couples exist though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're trying to show a perfect representation of what our society is, especially if it's American based, there are gay couples. Like, I don't think gayness was this thing that like became a epidemic and then it's blown. I think homosexuality's been around since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? The difference between now and then was that is a lot more acceptable now as opposed to back then, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And so, I just feel like it's a reflection of life. Do I feel sometimes they do push it and they try to show an agenda? In certain instances I do, but for the most part, I think it's just like a reflection of what society.
Like Batman. Batman is a guy. He's a rich face, Bruce Wayne. If next year they come out with a movie
and he's black,
or he's black, or it's a female, you're not gonna be like, okay, they're doing too much. You could literally.
I think the female part would go too far because there was a Batgirl, so there's no reason to make him a female.
No, but she wouldn't be called Batgirl.
Right, exactly. But that's an interesting point he makes. Like, what if they made the same thing with like James Bond? Or
see, that's the thing though. There were rumors that Idris
they were trying to get him.
Was supposed to be the.
But
next
that's a fictional character.
Still,
we're
talking about movies,
fictional,
right?
You could make a different actor.
No,
look at
Denzel Washington. And
you're not making Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not casting him as Dr. Martin Luther King. That'd be offensive. That'd be in my yo, what?
Yeah, but that goes right back to our point. They're not real characters.
Dr. Martin Luther King was a real person. What are you talking
about? The characters that we're talking about.
Oh yeah, those are not real. So you have
because I don't know, not for nothing. It says the Little Mermaid, not the little white mermaid, not the little black mermaid, not the little Indian mermaid.
Right.
It says the little mermaid.
Right.
Right. So then. I don't see the problem.
No, I don't see it either. I mean, I think y'all can, both things can exist though. Your opinion can exist and can be true, and his opinion can be true as well. Because
his opinion.
I don't disagree that black women could play whatever role.
Nah, I think like if we're doing Batman as a Batwoman, like, come on, bro, what are we doing?
I mean, honestly, how would you feel about a black Batman?
That's I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I could definitely see people. Oh, they would be up in arms about that.
But it's like really like
the thing is, what's funny though is
just make a black.
But different. In DC and Marvel comics, there has been those switches. In the actual comics, there has been those changes.
I don't know if I've ever seen a black Batman
for different characters.
I never seen
like Captain America.
Well, yeah, it's different. That's Marvel. Marvel has always done their own thing in different avenues, and I think there was one point where the Batman was gay and he kissed a guy or some shit and won in an issue or some shit like that. Like,
that was more recent.
That was DC. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's much more recently. But I don't know, bro. Like, listen, if it's real people, don't fuck with the characters. Like, if the real person that existed, for instance, there's a Whitney Houston movie. Don't cast fucking Christina Aguilera as Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't look fucking. What you call it? Got bashed for it. Zoe Saldana got bashed for it because they cast her as Nina Simone, and she had to put like darker skin or darker makeup on because she was really light, and Nina Simone was a darker skinned person. People were even offended by that. They were like, "Yo, that's not. What are you doing?" But if you're talking about characters that aren't real. The Little Mermaid is not real. If you want to cast her as a black woman,
She could be black, Spanish, purple.
and maybe she was. Maybe they did do auditions, and Haley, I think I forgot her last Bailey, I believe. I might be.
I think it's Chloe Bailey.
Haley, it's not their sisters, so it's Haley Bailey and Chloe Bailey.
Okay.
That's crazy names. And then what if they really did auditions and they really
Okay.
And what if she was really the best one? She could sing her ass off. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could sing her ass off.
Or maybe the studio went in there with a They were like, listen, we want to cast somebody.
We want to stir the pot. And maybe that might have been it.
Listen,
but with good intentions though, that's my point. Like,
I do.
The good intention. It's all about money. We understand it's all about money.
Right.
We understand that, but I think those opportunities is what breaks us into those industries. Like,
but why can't we break them?
You see, because we don't get those opportunities, brother, and it has to start from somewhere. It has to start from somewhere. Remember, the first presence of a black person in on the silver screen was what's her face? I forget her name, but she was like Aunt Jemima.
Hattie McDaniels.
Yes, she was like an Aunt Jemima with the bandana and
yeah, but she won an Oscar. She was the first black woman to win an Oscar.
So you got to break the door somehow.
I mean, listen, none of us could understand that because it was such a different time. And so somebody just eating that integrity or their morale and just dealing with that, you got to commend it. Like, no, I don't think anybody talks down to who Hattie McDaniels was and says, well, she was playing this mammy.
Some people were very upset by it.
I mean, listen, look.
But I think just the fact that the acknowledgement by the Academy at that time for her to get an Oscar,
huge, 100%. That was huge. Yeah.
Huge.
I don't think she was even in. I don't think she could have
a 10.
A 10 or not. Like, she was there, but I don't know if she could sit in certain areas. Like,
that was back when the colored and the white
segregation.
I do kind of, but then all right, on a larger scale, because what you're saying is pretty much some people will say affirmative action is the same thing, where they'll say, okay, are we hiring the best person, or are we hiring just to show diversity?
Exactly, and that happens a lot.
You still think that happens a lot?
I think so.
Oh.
You don't think so?
Sometimes I could be a bit naive, and I like to think that somebody's truly getting hired for who they are, and if they just so happen to be black, it's great. It's a bonus. But I've also seen things. Look at this whole mortgage thing where people try to get their house appraised, and there's black couples who are getting lower appraisal rates, and they're taking down pictures and all shit and putting white family pictures, and they're getting a value $100,000 to $200,000 more than the original appraisal. So obviously there's still biases and there's still prejudices out there. You know, I mean,
we can look at it definitely from both ways, because they can cast another white actress and be like, Well, why couldn't you cast
Yeah,
a
but
black
you
actor?
wouldn't. You really wouldn't gravitate the people of color though. Like when you see the thing trending on Twitter, it's little girls like she looks like me. I can't wait to see it. Let's say if it was let's say if it was a white woman, they're not having that same reaction, and they may not be so keen to watch the movie.
Nah, everybody's gonna watch the movie.
Nah, I don't think so.
Do you know what you're talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
That whole franchise is crazy. We're talking
Live action Little Mermaid. You think it means the same to a little girl of color than if it was just a regular white woman? I mean, regular white girl.
No, I'm talking about just the fact that it is the Little Mermaid.
I don't think it has. I don't think these.
Oh,
they
big
don't.
time.
They don't.
Big time.
It doesn't have the same.
All the children who have watched that movie love the freaking movie.
Right.
They're gonna want to go see the live action.
I don't know. I that's where I agree with him.
But that's the
I
thing.
do believe there is a marketing aspect to it where they're basically saying, "Yo, we can definitely get this demographic because not just black little girls. You're talking about Latinos. You're talking about Arab. You're talking about
Anyone that's not white.
little girls of color are gonna.
What's the Little Mermaid?
What do you mean?
Is it Disney?
It's Disney, yeah.
Okay, so let's go further back.
Okay.
Snow White,
Right.
all white,
Yeah, 100%.
classic.
Right.
Everybody went to see it.
Not everybody.
Everybody went to see that movie, brother.
If you kids in general, okay, for instance,
You're gonna tell me Snow White? No.
but Snow White came out in the 50s.
Yeah.
right.
Rapunzel? No. I saw Snow White.
Do you think they cared about the black demographic back then? No, they didn't give a fuck about that.
No, but it's still.
What was the population? What was the black or POC population back in the 50s in comparison to what it is now? It's a different game now, so you can't bring up Snow White because the vast majority of little boys and girls are going to watch that, and that they don't have to cater towards maybe, I don't know if the percentage back then was maybe 5% or 7% of American population, whereas now it's a different plane.
But who hasn't seen Snow White?
I didn't see Snow White when I was a little kid.
When did you see Snow White?
I never really did. I never really saw Snow White.
I just know the story.
Yeah, I knew the story. I never watched. I never saw Bambi. I never saw Snow White. I never saw Sleeping Beauty. I knew the story. I never really sat down like, God, I gotta watch this. Never.
I didn't.
Nah, never. And I think, but if you're talking,
I watched them in the movie theaters.
but if you're talking about a 8-year-old me, and then there's a person of color, Snow Black. I'm saying,
Right? Snow Black.
and I see it like, oh wow, he looks like me. I want to go see it. I want to go see it because now the demographic numbers are not the same as what they once were. They just weren't.
I hear you, but
Just make me
but the reality is all the movies that have come out within the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes to see them.
Well, that is different. You can't say that because it's also distributed differently now. It really is. You can't really say that.
Not now. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about throughout the years, brother. I don't know what kid didn't see Mulan. What kid didn't see like all these different.
My kids didn't see Mulan
because they're too young.
but they didn't. They can watch it now.
They didn't see Mulan because they don't know Mulan. But Mulan was a really big thing.
100%.
To be honest, kids don't really even get excited for
Mulan is something that was not your kid's generation. It's my daughter's generation, and she's 27.
Right.
So whenever there are any animations that it was filled, the movie theaters were filled.
So you're talking in a sense that you think any Disney animation was going to get seen no matter what.
Yeah, back in the day, sure.
I don't know about that.
Back in the day, sure. Especially when I was raising my daughter.
Like, okay, for instance, like Lilo and Stitch probably didn't do the same numbers as
Lilo and Stitch
Little Mermaid,
huge,
or Beauty and the Beast.
But Lilo and Stitch were huge.
I want to say huge.
It wasn't huge.
It wasn't.
Not only did the movie do really well, but then all their merch, forget it.
In comparison to a release like Beauty and the Beast or Little Mermaid, I don't think so.
Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast, everybody went to see it.
That's
The
what I'm
live
saying.
action was good too. Beauty and the
I didn't
Beast.
see. I didn't see it. I think those are Lilo and Stitch was a nice, cute movie that people saw. I'm not disputing with that, but I think you're forgetting. Like I said, Disney animation movies aren't as automatic as they once were. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more intricacies to it now. You know, like they have to consider people of color a lot more now because the populations are not built the same. Forget. I'm not just talking about black couples. We're also talking about mixed couples because there's a lot of them out there, bro. Latino women with a white husband, or a white woman with a Latino husband, a black guy with a white woman. There's so many mixtures right now. It's like, yo, we have no choice but to cater to this demographic, to the point of what he was saying, because now they have to say, like, yo, in 10 years, everybody's going to look like a light-skinned girl. I don't know, maybe 10 years might be a stretch, but there's going to be a lot of people who look like mixed kids.
Sure.
It's just a fact. So as a big company as Disney is, they're going to take their darts from Twitter and the idiots and the racist people on Twitter. But you, as a big company, you don't think about the now. You think about the projection in 10 years.
I mean, I see the movies becoming more focused on certain demographic. Coco.
Right.
Coco was an excellent movie.
What was that?
Encanto.
Encanto was huge.
Encanto was pretty good.
Encanto was huge for everybody.
I don't know for everybody, but it was huge. No, it was huge.
All the kids went to see it.
Yeah, but it wasn't somebody replacing.
No.
It was.
That's my whole point.
It was Encanto was. That goes to his point. That was an original story based on a specific culture that had to do with Hispanic culture.
They're not gonna make another Encanto
And it
movie and
was
put a white family.
huge.
Because
Anywhere you went, from the music to the movie to the everywhere. Now that was something that was everywhere,
and it was original. They didn't have to take it from an old Disney white film. It was original, and they could do the same with other.
But we don't know if she was probably the best actress.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's completely. I was just speaking in general, and The Little Mermaid was just an example. But
Right.
they've been doing this a lot. You know, whether it's with their race, gender, sexual orientation.
But that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. If you look at it that way, then fair is fair. If you look at it truly in that manner, then fair is fair.
What do you mean?
They've been doing it to people of color.
Oh yeah,
for
100%.
a lot longer than this one freaking movie.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, Mickey Rourke was playing an Asian in movies.
Yeah, but like you said, it's not like a replacement. Like they're just. It was written for this. And it turned out.
But you know how many TV shows were written for black families and they turned it into a white family scenario?
I mean, I guess the best scenario would be not a different world. Living Single. Living Single is Friends. They've admitted that. Like they were like, "Yo, we saw that story." They said
Family
that's
Matters.
fire.
That's Full House right there.
And they pretty much were like, yo, we're going to do the same thing, white actresses and actors and put it on NBC. And Living Single was essentially Friends. And I go to a different, listen, these networks are built off of doing that though. They let the black acts build the channels. And then when they've had their way with you, then they replace you with some bullshit. Say what you want. Cosby Show, despite what you think about the dude, in a different world, they generated so much revenue for NBC. In Living Color, Martin, Living Single, New York Undercover, like Built Fox, Real Talk. Like all these, you see them way too many times, bro. Like they just do that. Excuse me.
Nah, that was just my thoughts. I don't really have a problem with.
The bigger question is, are you going to go see The Little Mermaid now?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. I watch all the Disney live actions.
My thing is, I wasn't going to go see it anyway.
I honestly don't have a problem.
And I don't have girls. So I don't even know if my boys are going to even want to see it. They're going to be like, I'm pretty sure they're going to see like, oh, wow, black girl. Okay, cool. Where's my toy now? Like, which is cool because that does register.
And it's like, are they gonna make merch now where it's not gonna be the usual mermaid that we all know? It's gonna be a darker skin.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
because they did it with Princess and the Frog.
But that was live action. I mean, this is live action.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't remember them doing merch like that for Lion King.
I don't know.
Or Beauty and the Beast like that.
Yeah, are they gonna make another Beauty and the Beast and she's gonna be a black
See,
girl?
now
It becomes too much. It's like, bro, you could have just made a whole different film where she's dating a fucking
wolf. Wolf and the
fucking
Beauty
wolf.
and shit. I called it something else.
Yeah, you don't have to. I feel like it's a little extra with the wrong intentions. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's bad that they shouldn't do it.
A black audience.
You have to now.
But how is that the wrong intention?
Because the character originally was already established as a white.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Everyone knows Ariel as this white girl.
I don't mean the funny thing.
Wait. So explain to me why is that bad? Explain to me
It's
why
not bad.
is it? No.
I'm not telling you that it's
you
bad.
know you are. You really are
I'm
it's
saying
wrong.
their intentions for doing it
is to
wrong.
reach a black audience.
But make a completely different character.
What the hell is the difference?
It is a different. It's originality.
It's not going to be the same movie.
It doesn't have to be. I don't want it to be the same movie.
Was Beauty and the Beast the same movie
Wait,
as the cartoon?
Yeah.
Was Lion King the same movie? Yes. It's probably going to be the same movie, fam. Like, it's going to be the same movie.
But technically not because the actress is.
Like, listen, I think at the end of the day, she's an attractive woman and she could sing her ass off. And I guess the question that has to be answered is, can she act?
Film.
If she can
saying
act
it's not going to be a bad movie.
and make it a great film, because then it becomes like Black Panther. Black Panther is a genuine.
You're gonna cast a white person to play Black Panther in the future?
Of course
No.
not.
That's my thing.
But the base.
They would do that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. They wouldn't do that. I don't. That's
no.
bugging. Like,
But let's say like white people start taking a stance in the future.
Right.
They'll end up making a Black Panther that's white.
That's a hill they gonna die on badly, bro. Like that's not the same.
That's my thing.
That is not the same. Like it's
The only way he could be white is if he's South.
I don't listen because now you're.
Listen, the thing is you can't take an African and put a white guy in there.
If they replace T'Challa with a white dude, I mean, all hell breaking loose.
But he's also a fictional character. So
you're right. You're 100%. He's also called the Black Panther. Like, you know what I'm saying?
His suit is black, but in the inside he could be white.
But he's in Africa though.
Yeah, the story in and of itself is based upon, like, for instance, like,
So Africans can't be white now?
Here's a perfect example. I think it was called Arrow, or it was a Disney movie, but she had red hair and she was really good at archery or whatever.
Oh, she was Irish.
Right?
Scottish,
whatever. Now, be respectful, whatever. That's another thing. If the environment in which the story takes place in a specific area. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, that's based in Ireland. Yeah, you can't replace her with a black. I'm not saying there's not
but
black
what if
Irish.
she plays the role really well?
No, that's not the same. No.
That's what he's telling me.
The environment the environment itself also dictates if you can do that or not. Because, like I said, if coming to America, it doesn't work because you can't replace the King of Zamundo. You can't replace Akeem based off of, we just want to put a white guy. It's based about an African guy coming here. That cartoon I mentioned is about a woman in Ireland who can throw an arrow. Wakanda is based on an African country, an African heritage. The Little Mermaid is not based. The environment is based on the sea. The sea can be anything. It can
On
be
the
anywhere.
white sea. Nah.
The white.
When she washes up on shore, they're gonna put her in shackles and put her in the fucking fields. I'm just gonna let you.
If you really think about it, yeah.
Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
You can't replace Pocahontas with a white woman.
You can't,
Because
absolutely.
the culture itself is based on Native
And
Americans.
then the guy, are you going to make him black?
You can.
No,
Oh, no,
because
you
he
can't.
was
Well,
a slave.
Right, right. It's a period. It is a period piece.
It's kind of wild, though,
But
because
Disney
when
would do
when
that.
you think of Little Mermaid,
If you-
well, like I just said,
Disney
when she
would do
washes
that.
up on the shore, in that time period,
Exactly.
she would be in shackles.
Thank you. Look, you just agree with me.
Was she? If she was, yeah.
Yes, she would be in shackles.
They put them shackles.
Look at this Negro in the
Right.
water who can swim.
I know. What is the meaning of this? No, but I that's
It's cool. Black
that's-
people could play whatever role.
But
Spanish
white
people
people
could
can't.
play whatever role. You guys play whatever, take a role. But I'm just saying,
The environment and the
Let's-
period also plays into effect, though.
let's not conform. Just because someone says we should have a black person playing this doesn't mean the black person has to play this.
So you think it was wrong for them to have?
I don't think it was wrong.
We haven't seen
But
the
I
film
feel
yet.
Wait, but
they
you
could have
think about-
went on an original
Yeah,
route.
but so you would say that Princess and the Frog should have never been made.
No, that's
No,
different.
that's not what
That's an
I said.
original
That's not
story.
original.
This is original.
Princess and the Frog is not an original story.
Yes, kind of.
They basically took a generic story
Exactly.
and put a whole world around it.
There's no white princess.
You know what I'm
in the
saying?
frog.
Yeah, there is.
Like you could
There's no
take
white
No.
okay, for instance, if you take the story of Santa Claus, it's a generic story, but you can make it a black story. You can make it
Exactly.
they could
No,
be
you can because
Yes, you
Santa
should.
Claus has always been white.
no, not
If we're
necessarily.
gonna
You
go
haven't
real-
gone to Home Depot in St. Albans. So, yeah, but I've seen some black Santas, plenty of them. But you can't have a black Santa if you base a story around
Exactly.
it. 100%.
And it doesn't.
There'll
have
be
to
people
a
that'll be
typical
angry about
story.
it, but that's the original story based on a generic premise of a character, essentially.
That was-
You can technically do a black Batman. You really can.
You can.
Doesn't
absolutely.
necessarily. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to be Bruce Wayne. It could be
Like Miles Morales. Like
right.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. It could be
Right? They didn't put him Peter Parker.
right. They didn't put
'Cause
Peter
that
Parker.
would
They
just
just
be
basically
silly.
said he is from a
A
different.
different universe.
Right.
I love it. Thank
But
that was
that's
awesome.
But a different universe. But that works for Marvel.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Of course,
Because-
it could be all be tied
And
into.
in Marvel, they do that all over the place.
Of course,
We already said that.
100%. 100%.
Like, if my memory serves me right, The Princess and the Frog is a white story.
It's a
But
story.
it's not
a
called
white
Princess and
story.
the
It's a
Frog.
story.
Yeah, it's a story.
It's a
I
story.
agree.
It's not a white. Like that's just
I haven't seen a film.
Because the thing
snow.
that
That's
comes-
like, but you're labeling like let's.
the closest that comes to that story is the piece in Shrek
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
when the father turns into a frog.
Right. What I'm saying is you're also turning these stories into racial into racial stories. Like for
Exactly.
instance, Snow White is not a white story. It's basically that's the one with the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like
It is a white story.
that's not a white story. That's the story. There's nothing that about it. It's not based upon England and royalty or anything like that, where it has to be like, oh, it has to be a white story. It's just a story about a girl with 7 dwarves and shit, and
And they
some
rape her.
Yeah, well, I didn't say all that,
Uh,
but Cinderella,
saw that.
Cinderella, yeah, Cinderella's a perfect. Cinderella's not a white story. That's just a story. It's a fairy
There's
tale.
been many versions.
And there's been Black Brandy with Cinderella.
Spanish.
Yeah,
everything.
there's been plenty of different types of Cinderellas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the same thing though.
What do you mean?
If you look at the Little Mermaid, then
It's a story.
it's okay then.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying that it's not okay.
He's talking about don't redo Cinderella with a black person and try to resell it to me. Give me another.
Cinderella.
Give me a story based on.
Give me a whole new story.
Give me a whole new story based on.
But they did it
a
though.
new black.
They did.
princess.
Yeah. I mean,
They've done it plenty of times. This is not like the first time they do this. It's not the first time. I could understand you saying that if this was the first time, but this is not the first time.
It's not, but that's the whole thing. It's becoming a routine thing for the wrong reasons.
To reach a different demographic?
How many daughters do you have?
5.
You have 5 daughters. You have no sons, right?
1.
Oh, you have 1 son. You have 5 daughters. Do you feel like representation matters to them? Matters to you to them?
Like
Yeah.
if the mermaid was white, you wasn't gonna take them to see it.
I wouldn't have taken them to see it.
Yeah, no matter what. But does it feel a little bit different that you're taking them and it is a woman of color?
Yeah,
Okay. It feels a little different.
it does.
Yeah. That's
Like when I saw what's it called?
What?
Princess and the Frog.
Encanto.
yeah.
But see, the Encanto for me is I just loved the story.
Nah, yeah, everything about
So,
it.
but the Hispanic
mean?
aspect of it didn't.
No. I love that. I just I it was a great story. It was a great
It felt natural. Right.
And if they did a live action and put a black family,
It would. Definitely can't name it Encantanto. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
nah.
they would do that. That's my point.
I don't know. See, nah, and that's
They would
why
do
that's
that.
where you lose me. I don't know if they would do. That's
they would do it. I
that's
think
just
they
being
would ever do
petty.
that.
Like that's just fucking.
That's what it just feels like they're doing. Like, slap a black person on it, a Spanish person on it, a gay person on it, just because.
So, are you defending the people who are saying she needs to be white?
No, absolutely not. She could be black. She could be gray. Purple.
You just want to know what the motive is.
Like if we're gonna give these opportunities to these different groups of people, right? Whether they're gay, they're female, black, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to make them original, or we can't do that.
Or we can make Medea the mermaid.
That would be terrible.
The mermaid have a terrible wig on.
But it's like it sucks that we can't even. They can't even be their own. A new character that's gonna be as successful as the original Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella. No, they have to just change them
Right.
and make them black. And I feel like that's not even fair.
Once again, like I said, we don't know if she killed the audition and they were like, "Yo,
You're right.
she happens to be black."
She killed it though,
But
and
if you saw the trailer, she can sing, and
good,
she
it's
sounded
good.
amazing. And so, I just feel like, all in all, stop casting Beyonce because
I hope the CGI is good. That's
she cannot act.
Don't fuck up the
At all.
CGI.
She's in the movie.
No, I'm just saying in general, like she is.
She,
not.
wasn't she the voice?
She was the voice of Lion King. Yeah, she was Nala.
Oh, she was Nala.
Yeah, yeah. She's
It's my
much
daughter's,
respect to her.
my daughter's name.
Oh no, oh yeah.
No,
Her name is Beyonce.
that's her name. I'm here trying to think who's that. All right, Zay, any last thoughts? Are you gonna attack me? Can we go see the Little Mermaid together?
Nah, man, because you already said that because all that other bullshit. I ain't seen no Little Mermaid.
I don't
with you.
want to give people the wrong idea that I disagree with that. I just
Your question is the motive. I think the motive.
He hates black people. That's all.
I think the motive is a positive motive, even though it's all about money. But why not reach a different demographic? I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I gotta
create
think
a
about
new
it.
character. Think about it.
Yeah,
Text me later.
but
Call me.
that's the problem though. How many new characters are really being created for people of color in general?
But I also feel like we're at the point where we gotta stop asking. Like, yo, we can take the shit
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
We don't need their permission anymore. For real. Like, this idea that we need to be cast for representation. Like, fuck them. Like, okay, you don't want to fuck with us? Fine. Like, we make our own shit. The internet has freed more black people than Abraham Lincoln has, bro. It really has. Because now it's like there's no governor in there. You could post shit. You could put something on YouTube. You could put it on your own site. You could sell your own shit. You can give snippets out for free. And, we don't need those people. We don't need those suits anymore. Fuck them. We make our own shit. We can make our own shit now. Fuck them. We have this idea like, they need to be more representation of us. Nah, for what? Fuck them. Okay, the 70s, yeah, you're right. Like, they were bugging. There's only one Good Times and there's only one Jefferson's. Now you could do whatever the fuck you want now. Buy your camera, use your phone, shoot your own shit. Like,
all I'm saying is I want Brad Pitt to play a biopic of Michael Jordan. So peace.